Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond Life Paranormal Podcast. I'm your host, Russell Reynolds, on a Sunday night. We're doing back-to-back shows, and we got two special guests with us tonight. They are both paranormal researchers and documentary filmmakers. My good friend Linda introduced me to them, and we're not going to keep them backstage for too long. They had some technical difficulties, so we're a little late getting on. So without further ado, we're going to bring them on, Jeanette and Petra.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
guys, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. So tell my audience a little bit about yourselves and how you got started in the paranormal.
Do you want to go first, Jeanette?
Oh, sure. My name is Jeanette Bowman. I live in Marion, Ohio. I've been at this pretty much since I was born. I've been able to see dead people since I was a baby. Gosh, that's about it. I've been able to see and talk to dead people since I was a baby. Lucky me. So yeah. And guess what? I'm single. Can't imagine why. But other than that, I met Petra about 5 years ago, and yeah, she's been stuck with me ever since. So we've been traveling around, and yeah, we've had a lot of fun, and we've seen some interesting stuff, and we've got a lot of proof, and yeah, we done some interesting things up at the Enfield Demon House not too long ago, and gosh, we've done Lizzy Bordens, we've done the Conjuring House. We've got some upcoming stuff we're planning on doing, and I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Your turn.
Are you done?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't want to interrupt you.
Put me on the spot here.
Okay, I'm Petra Tressler, and I work in the school kitchen as a cook beside doing ghost hunt, which I did ghost hunt in our school, by the way, with our principal and teachers. And we had some activity. But anyways, I started when I was 4 years old. I could see like from angel to demons, and being Catholic, there are no ghosts. So I had to deal with everything by myself. And then when I was 9 years old, I dreamed people dying, and they really died in 2 weeks of time, and that scared me. And then, so I got punished when I was little for telling my grandparents or my mom that I can see things, and because there are no ghosts. So I learned very early to say the Lord's Prayer and to have my rosary at night. And then when I got into the paranormal, I felt like I'm not the only crazy one. So, and then special, I know there's something out there. So I wasn't crazy as a kid or imagining things, which helped me a lot. And by the way, that's my granddaughter. We do.
Hello.
I take her. Come here.
Okay.
I have her phone. So if we have the exorcist tonight, that's her without no phone. I take her ghost hunt too, because I have activity when I take her. We had like a laptop. We went to a hotel, and she has this laptop, and the laptop levitated from the TV stand at that hotel.
Oh, wow.
And then it was up in the air, and then it fell on the floor. And my granddaughter goes like, I hope you didn't break it. Not scared at all, but she got really upset.
Look, it was expensive.
And then I've met Janet through a friend of ours. And then she's like the only person I trust to travel with, might say.
And then I attacked her. The first night we spent together, I thoroughly attacked her. And I'm like, oh God, I'm going to catch some charges. Oh, this is not going to end well. I'm going to jail.
Oh yeah, the first night.
I was not sleepwalking. I was awake. So, yeah.
The first night we were in a not haunted hotel or motel. It was the Best Western, right?
Yeah, Rhode Island.
We stayed the night before.
First night.
So we go to bed. I'm sleeping, and suddenly I feel, that was the night before we went to the Conjuring House.
Yeah.
I felt bony fingers on my body, right? I'm not skinny, but I can feel bony fingers. So in my sleep, I thought maybe I'm already in the Conjuring House and Bathsheba got me. And I jumped up and I screamed, ah, as loud as I could. I screamed, right? The next thing, I see something white flying past me. So I thought at this point, and the lamp falling. So I thought at this point, the lady in white got me too. So I'm screaming again, as loud as I can. I'm screaming bloody murder in the Best Western. So finally, I wake up. Well, I see Janet sitting up, whatever.
No,
And what happened was that she saw shadows. Now, that's what you told me the first night. She told me that she wasn't sure if I was there or not. So she grabbed me to see if I'm real. That's when I thought Bathsheba got me. But then she saw a shadow person and she threw the pillow at him, which I saw there was a lady in white.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I
pillow and I was going after it and I forgot about her and I grabbed her and I was like, squish. I was like, what the hell? And then she started screaming. I was like, ugh. And then the shadow got away and I was like, oh, well, okay. Screw that.
But you know what? There's no security came and see if I was okay.
She's screaming bloody murder.
I screamed bloody murder as loud as I could. No security. So kill somebody at the Best Western, you get away with it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Nobody came. Nobody gave a crap.
Yeah, but then we went to that Conjuring House, which I'm friends with Roger Pierron and Andrea Pierron.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I sleep in Andrea's room because it's upstairs and the steps go up during daylight. I'm brave, of course, you know.
Uh-huh.
And
I went to the bed to sleep on. She had a hold of my shirt, and I'm like, this is how I'm going to die. I have this much of the bed. She has a hold of my shirt, and I'm like, oh, my God.
Well, I saw
attacking her, so I
told her the cameras run there day and night, like 24/7 if you catch anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why my motion detector didn't come on, but I can see a woman in black, in old Victorian black dress, and she looked very evil. And she had this black veil around over her, and it didn't feel like Bathsheba to me, but it felt like a really mean person. So I turned around and I had the feeling she wanna toss me out of bed or pull me out of bed, right? So I turned around because I didn't want to see her, and I grabbed Janet's shirt because I told Janet, I said, I sleep in bed with you. I don't care what it looks like on camera. I'm scared. So I grabbed her shirt and I go like, if she pulls me out of bed, Janet goes with me.
Great.
That was our first night. Then the second night, and it was every night, the 2 nights, thunder and lightning. Every night when we were there. And it was just her and me in the house. Only 2 people.
But as soon as that happened to her, though, there was a lady staying on my side of the bed, and she was very stately and had a black dress on, though, a different kind of dress than what she had on, but it was like a schoolmarm dress, and she had a gray hair and was up in like a schoolmarm kind of hairdo, and she's very astute. Don't knock the phone off. And she was just staring at me. She had gray eyes and kind of ruffles on the dress, and it was just black, just all black, like a pipe dress, kind of the way she was wearing it. And she was just staring at me. And I was on the right side of the bed in the middle bedroom, and she was kind of standing over by where the door is. And she was just standing there staring at me for a long period of time, Lucy. And then right after, she stood there for a long period of time, and she didn't see her. I didn't see who she was talking about, and she didn't see who I was talking about. And then I seen a Vietnam soldier, and he told me his name. Now, the woman didn't tell me her name. She didn't talk to me, but the Vietnam soldier did. He told me his name, and come to find out, his family farm is down the road.
Oh, okay.
And I had no knowledge of that at all. I did not know, and I didn't find out about that. I found his picture a year later because I kept digging. I finally found his high school picture. And then a couple months down the road from that, at Mansfield Reformatory, we had a Paracon there, and I ran into one of the Paracon people, and he told me that the family farm for that person is down the road. I was like, oh my God. And then it got confirmed yet again recently from another person. So I don't want to see their names, but
Right.
Yeah, I was like, it got confirmed that Vietnam soldier's family is from down the road. I was like, no way. And he was holding a bandage to his head. And like, I recognized it, but he wasn't wearing the glasses like he was in his high school picture.
Mm-hmm.
And he was older and his face was more formed out, but he was holding a bandage. He was holding a white rag to his head. He was wearing Vietnam clothes. And come to find out, this guy was killed in 1969. And he's from Ohio, but his family farms right down the road from the Conjuring House.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know that. There's no way I'd known that. And I drove from Ohio. I drove up there. So I drove up that way from where he's from. So I must have picked him.
Then the second night we stayed in the basement. Again, thunder and lightning, water comes in the basement. We have cots down there. We can hear like a guy, like a priest going back and forth upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like an evil guy. It doesn't feel like a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
But we had soda and we had popcorn and chips down there. We had like a little party. We stopped doing investigation and just had fun with the spirits.
Yeah, they were we were getting our legs grabbed.
Yeah, and then I was laying on my belly, on my stomach, and I said, everything hurts from working in the school kitchen. And little hands massaged my leg and my back, and I got like, oh my gosh, don't stop.
Oh, wow.
So we didn't have anything scary. I felt more safer in the basement where everybody else is scared than upstairs.
Yeah.
Upstairs really scared me more than the basement.
I wasn't scared at all.
Vixen Paranormal asked, what was your scariest encounter as an adult?
Oh, mine was when... Okay, do you want to go first, Janet, or I go first?
Oh, go ahead. You first.
My scariest was when my daughter was 16 years old and she wanted to go to a haunted hotel, which was in Casadega. And I wanted to scare her because she's a teenager. I just wanted to scare the crap out of her. And it backfired. We had so much activity. At this point, we were only 6 people in the whole hotel. And I make it a story short because it was just so much happened from the moment we walked in. I got attacked by a cat I couldn't see. My most scariest thing was when you walk in, you have like a twin size bed. And then you have, it's right by the door. And then straight ahead of you is another bed. And then you go to the bathroom. So it's like a little suite. And I told my daughter, I said, you have to sleep in bed with me. And she said, I'm not sleeping in a twin size bed with you. And I said, well, it was your idea. You want to go in a haunted hotel. But anyways, I ended up in bed by myself anyways. But she had the bed beside me. At 3 o'clock in the morning, the lights get off. And I have from the other room where there's no light bulb in the lamp, an orange stream coming towards me. And my daughter is sleeping. She missed all of it. And I froze. I couldn't move. I froze. And when you sweat, cold sweat that night, my pillow was soaking wet from fear. I saw 2 women in Victorian dress, but they're all white, like glowing white. But I can see the dress, I can see the face, and 2 little kids standing there. And the woman tells me, the more scared you are, the more stronger the evil gets.
Oh, yeah, they feed off of that fear.
Yes, I didn't know that till that spirit actually told me. So the boy goes like, if you move, I pull the blanket away from you. So I didn't move at all. And I played the Lord's Prayer. I had my eyes closed and I waited for the daylight. Daylight comes. My daughter wakes up. She sees the orange stream still. And she goes, Mom. And the moment she says, Mom, it all disappears. And the lights come back on. And then I find out that we were the only people where the power went out in the room.
Oh, wow.
That was one of my scariest nights.
Well, I've got a lot of them, so it's kind of hard to narrow it down. But the one that was the worst, that was the most, harshest. Gosh, I was dating this one idiot, and apparently the ghosts in my house did not like him. So I have a queen size bed, and we'll just call him Idiot. All right, he doesn't have a name. His name's Idiot. So Idiot is on the outside of the bed, and I'm on the inside of the bed. And that's weird. A big moth is coming over here to attack me. So I was asleep, and I usually sleep on my stomach. Okay. Well, for whatever reason, I was on my back. And he was sleeping on his back, which oddly enough was weird. Okay, that's irrelevant. But anyway,
How
I
much
had
percentage you live on?
a crocheted blanket and my sheet. Okay,
Get your shorter.
fairly heavy. Okay, I usually wake up. I'm a very light sleeper. I did not wake up for this. The comforter got yanked off the bed. The crocheted blanket got yanked off the bed, and the sheet all came off the bed. It all got ripped off the bed, wadded up, and went over and landed by the door. Okay, again, I didn't wake up. I got levitated off the bed. I came up over top of idiot, and I was levitating, not touching him at all, over top of him. I was looking straight down at his face, and I said, "There's no more blood." This was probably when I was 37 or 38. I'm 51 now. But I looked down his face. I was like, "There's no more blood." And then I kind of went up in the air, and I went over and I sat, Indian style on the blankets between him and the door. He wasn't getting out that door. And when it sat me down, my ankle, I guess, kind of was weird. But I was sat down on the blankets, and that's a pretty good distance from the bed to the door. That's how far I levitated.
Okay? Oh, wow.
And I'm a bit fluffier since then, but I wasn't skinny. So, but what woke me up was the pain on my ankle from where I was sitting, and he had already turned the lamp on, was up by the bed, and he was sitting there scared. And he said he had tried to reach down to try to touch the blanket to see what I would do. And he said the whole time I was staring at him, and I wasn't blinking. And he tried to touch the blanket, and I just reached over and I snatched it back away from him. And he was so scared he wasn't moving. He was scared to even move because I was between him and that door, and he wasn't getting out. And I finally woke up and I asked him what his problem was, and he's like, "You don't know what happened?" I'm like, here I am sitting on all of the blankets wadded up underneath me between him and the door. And I'm like, "Well, this is weird. Oh yeah, there's a few things about me you don't know." And he's like, "You think?" Yeah, he didn't last much longer. But yeah, I found out later he was cheating on me. So I guess that was a way of the spirits telling me.
Yeah, they gave you a sign.
Yeah, here's your sign. Yeah.
Rhonda Burhow asks, "I recently returned from California and I felt that my deceased friend, who I hadn't seen in almost 50 years, was influencing me to find his family. Can you tell me if this was true?"
I'm not a medium or psychic, so I cannot tell you.
I'm a medium.
But go with your feelings. Hey, if you feel, because that's what I do. I go with my feelings, and a lot of I don't want to say I'm a psychic or medium because I'm not. But a lot of times, what I feel is true. I say a lot of times, not all the time. But go with your feelings. If you feel that it's a sign from your friend, then I'm positive it's a sign of a friend, and always go with your feeling.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. You always got to trust that gut feeling. If that gut feeling's true, then chances are it's a sign that. And she said, "I couldn't stop crying when I returned home and I felt driven to find them."
Yeah, go ahead and go find them. And I think it gives you more peace of a mind if you do.
Yep. And that probably puts some closure to it too as well.
Yeah. And I think in the paranormal field, there is no wrong and right. It always goes what you feel. We all see different things. We all feel different things.
Yep.
And there is no wrong and right,
Yeah.
Just go with your feelings.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about your friend, though.
Said I was getting signs all over. Yeah, chances are that they want your friend wants you to bring closure to him. He's not at rest until you find his family.
Because you know your friend, and if you think and you do believe in your heart it's a sign, it will be a sign. Just go with it.
Yep. And
And can you let
also,
us know what you find out somehow, or can you let Russell know what you find out, by the way?
plus also test it. Test if you do find it and the family is passed on and you do communicate with it, test them. Ask them questions that only they would know. That way you don't think something else is coming through. So find out nicknames that only they would know. I did find his son and found out a lot.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that.
Because I've learned over the years when you're doing spirit communication, a lot of times other things will come through and disguise itself. If you're
I'm
trying
scared
to,
of kids. I'm really scared of when kids come through because a lot of times are not children. That's what I'm scared of mostly.
yeah.
Especially since I have my haunted dollhouse.
So,
I actually have a video of a spirit child.
oh wow.
Yeah. It was my daughter's friend sending me that video. So it's on a baby monitor, right? Her child is like 3 years old, I think, 3 or 5. I don't remember. I think 3 years old. Well, she's sitting in bed and was supposed to watch a movie on the laptop, and she was supposed to be quiet. But she heard over the baby monitor so much noise coming from her room, so she looked on the baby monitor. But her child is sitting in the bed watching the movie. But in front of on the floor, in front of the child's, on the side of the child's bed, you can see a toddler playing with the dollhouse. So
Oh wow.
I'm gonna send you that video when we're done.
Yeah, I'd
Well,
definitely like to check that out.
she didn't want the dollhouse anymore. So of course I took it, and then they took it out of the room, and then her husband says that he hears growling and voices coming from the dollhouse. So I said, well, how bad can it be? And I can do a paranormal investigation from my house. I don't have to go anywhere anymore, right? So my
Right.
plan was to get a baby monitor and check it out and see what I catch, and then post it on YouTube or whatever. On the way home, I can smell sulfur in my car.
Ooh, yeah.
But then I'm debunking it and think maybe it's when I'm driving, people on the road might spray water, watering the grass or whatever. I try to debunk it. So I got home, and I don't even know when it will happen, but that my husband had worked out of town, and the air in my house, in my living room, I put it behind the chair in my living room, right when you walk in the house. It's a big doll house. And so days go by, that the air gets so heavy, I don't want to even come home anymore. Then it gets so bad that at nighttime, I don't want to go out in the kitchen and get a drink. I don't want to pass the dollhouse. So I tried to save the money to get a baby monitor, and every time I tried to get a baby monitor, something came up. I didn't feel like going to the store. I didn't have time, whatever. But anyway, so my husband comes home, and he falls asleep on the couch. And at 2:00 in the morning, he gets up, and the light goes on, and he never comes in the bedroom. He never turns the light off before he goes to work. So I don't know what happened. He wouldn't tell me. He just go like, well, when are you getting rid of the dollhouse? Where does it come from? So I said, well, I give it to my granddaughter. Of course I wouldn't, but I just want to buy time. So a couple of days later, he has left town again, right? Couple of days pass, and my German Shepherd, the one who passed now, was an old German Shepherd. He always greeted my husband. So again, 2:00 in the morning, I hear my German Shepherd greeting somebody, and I felt my husband is in the living room. No light on or nothing. But I can hear my dog is getting patted, and he's all excited that my husband come home. So I go like, why doesn't he turn a light on? So I'm going out, and I don't see nobody. But still, my dog is greeting somebody I don't see.
Right.
So I go to head with it, and then I thought my husband died, and he greeted my husband's ghost. So the next morning I called my husband, but he was okay, thank God. Then I always, every day I talk to my mom in Germany. So I get this phone call. My mom is on blood thinner, and she had to call 911. She's in the hospital. She started bleeding, but she's not supposed to bleed on blood thinner. That's dangerous. But she started bleeding really strongly. They don't know where it come from or why she's bleeding, and she's in a hospital and they can figure it out. So I have this feeling my mom is not gonna make it, and I blame the dollhouse for it. So I took the dollhouse outside and I put it right in front of my house on the corner. But from the moment, this dollhouse is big, it's heavy. From the time I put the dollhouse on the corner and turn around and look back through my window, the dollhouse is gone.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what happened to it. If somebody took it, they must have flown somewhere in, because there was nobody around when I took the dollhouse out. Plus somebody comes up close to my yard, my dog would bark.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea, can somebody take it that fast, such a big dollhouse with all the furnitures in, or what happened to it? And then I was scared for the longest time it comes back, but it didn't come back. So what happened to it, I have no idea. But you know
Yeah.
what? After the dollhouse disappeared, my mom came home from the hospital and she's well.
Good. A lot of times people aren't fortunate enough, even though they get rid of something like that entity that's attached to it. Sometimes it stays when it already picks what it wants.
And this what I don't think it was something else beside the kid. It was something more sinister with it.
Yeah.
Was it a kid to begin with or not? I don't know. But I'm going to send you probably tomorrow, because I still try to go to the movies with my grandson tonight and watch a horror movie.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he gets surgery done on Wednesday. So, on my birthday, Wednesday, he gets surgery done. So I want to take him to the movies before, because he's got a lot of healing to do afterwards.
Oh, wow. Yeah, prayers for him that he has a speedy recovery.
Yeah, he's got the spine, his spine curved, so scoliosis. Yeah. So
Oh,
he gets
okay.
back
Yep.
surgery done.
My sister has that.
Did she get surgery done?
No, not yet, but she's in her 40s now, so.
Oh. Yeah, he's 16, so.
Yeah, she's had it since she was a little girl.
Well, his curves more than 50%, so they do it now before it gets worse. So I just said, we went to New Orleans restaurant tonight, and this afternoon, and I go take him to the movies tonight still.
Oh, cool. So what are some of the other places you guys investigated? Because I know you guys travel all over the place, Linda's told me.
Yeah, with Janet, we did that Lizzy Bordens house. We did Salem. Lizzy Bordens house, we found an X on the outline of an X. I mean, you can see the X, but it's like see-through on our pillows.
Yeah,
because
I sent him.
Yeah, I said, Lizzy, I know exactly what you did. And then I took a picture, and then we had the X on there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of a warning. And then we went to Salem, and we couldn't find the cemetery. In Salem, you walk a lot. You park and you walk a lot.
Mm.
And we couldn't find the cemetery. And people sent us in different directions. And I'm old. I'm not the youngest person anymore. Like if I would be chased by a demon or so, I just stand still because I can run anymore. But anyway, so I said
which is good for me, because then I might actually have a chance of getting away. So
I said I can find this damn cemetery. And when I said the damn cemetery, it was something like I fell because something put something between my legs, so I fall. And it was nobody behind me, and I fell. Right, Janet? I fell, and Janet couldn't pick. My feet were so tangled. Janet couldn't pick me up, and it took two people to pick me up.
I had my hands full, and it's like just fell. I'm like, oh my God.
I just fell in the middle of the road. I just fell. It was somebody, like if somebody, didn't push me, but it put something like it felt something on my leg to make me fall.
And it's just like, do.
Yeah. And she was laughing, but my legs were so twisted I couldn't get up.
I was like, oh, I guess it's nap time. We finally got to the cemetery we were looking for, though. So,
yeah, we finally got it, but how I felt that was
really
weird.
tired.
And then we did the Enfield Demon House in Connecticut.
Oh,
Now some people say it's not haunted.
oh wow.
But you know what? I'm gonna say something. Even if you go to a haunted place and you don't have any activity, doesn't mean a place is not haunted. Ghosts or spirits don't come out when you want them to. You can go to the most haunted place and nothing happen, or you can go to a place that is not haunted and you get activity because you might take something with you from somewhere or something follows you.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
but we had crazy activity there. Yeah, we did a documentary there. And I just went through a footage on the end because I have to put it in a laptop, but I just looked at some of the footage and I see in the window a woman getting shot by a guy.
There's a pew pew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You can see the gun. You can see the guy with the hat. You can see a skull with horns. We don't know where that comes from. You see a little kid outline. And when I talked to the owner of that house last night and I sent him the picture, then more we talked about the picture and looked at it, it changed on us.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. And even regular camera footage, like video footage, will do the same thing. You'll be watching it, you'll see it, go to rewind it back, and then it's not there.
That was happened with me when I took the picture of the devil. I went to Casadega and I had a friend with me. And I'm going down where the pond is because I always thought there is dead people in the pond. But later on I found out that this psychics who die, they threw the ashes is thrown in the pond. So it's not their bodies, but it's still ashes from their people.
Yeah.
But not actually bodies. But anyways, it's nighttime. I'm going down this pond, which I thought I shouldn't go down. And I feel like an old lady putting her hand out and tried to grab me and pull me in. So I started running uphill and I realized I'm too old to run. And my friend is screaming, run, run, run. And I said, I can't. And she's taking pictures, right? And when she looks at the pictures, she starts, I don't want to say what she said, but she starts cussing. So I look at the picture. I swear by God, I am not lying. I have no proof, but I swear on the Bible, I am not lying. We see really clearly on the tree the devil. You see the whole body, the hoof, the tail, the horns, the face, and 3 or 4 witches, they're naked, really beautiful bodies on the tree.
Oh, wow.
And they have long hair, beautiful body, beautiful hair, but really ugly faces. So I tell her, oh my gosh, we put this on YouTube, and you know how many likes we get, and we're gonna be rich. We have a picture of the devil and the witches, right? And we get all excited. So I said, send me the picture. Well, when she shares the picture with me, I don't see nothing but the tree. But on her phone, I can see the devil and the witches. But we can share. When we share, it's only the tree.
Did it look something like this?
No. That was really clear. Ours was really clear.
But similar shape to that?
No, not at all. That was really clear. This pictures was really clear. I mean, it was like a person. It was really clear. They were really clear. It wasn't misty or nothing. It was totally clear, like you and I talk.
Yeah, like a solid form, yeah.
A solid form, and the same with the devil. It was a solid form, but on the tree. But it got fur. The whole body was fur. And the face had this long nose, and then the horns, and then the hooves and the tail, and then this long finger and these black fingernails. But the witches had totally beautiful bodies, only the face had the long, they looked old.
Oh, wow.
But so anyways, so then the picture started more to fade. And I got mad. And I think that night I really scared my friend to death. I went back to the tree and I taking pictures and I said, you show yourself again. Don't do that to us. Do you know how many likes we can have? Do you know how rich we can get and stuff like that? Come back and show yourself again. I dare you. And my friend told me to shut up. And I said, no. I said, I want another picture. I've never seen another picture again.
Yeah, it's a good thing you never challenged the demonic.
But at this point, I did think it was a stupid thing to do. I know that. But at that moment, I was so excited. We had this picture nobody else has. And I got upset that it disappeared and we couldn't share. And I didn't think straight at the point.
Right.
Would I do it again? No.
Yeah, your best bet is not. You don't want to challenge something like that.
When we were at oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
When we were up in Rhode Island, up at the Conjuring House, we had went down to Bathsheba's grave, and we were standing there, and I started getting scratched up.
Oh, Bathsheba's grave.
Yeah, I started getting scratched up. I sent you the pictures of it.
Yep. Yeah, I did see those.
It got scratches. It started scratching here first, and then across me. And yeah, she was standing right there when it happened, so I couldn't have done it to myself.
Because I say what I feel, and I'm not saying I'm right all the time. But at that point, I felt like I knew what happened, and I said, "You just did what you did because you wanted to stay young and you wanted to be rich," and that's when she got scratched. And every time I say something, she's the one who gets hurt.
Yeah, we were like
the Enfield Demon House.
The Enfield Demon House. I got that big bruise on my arm. I sent you a picture of that too.
Yeah.
And it was like a man's thumbprint. And then the closet door opened up. And I was like, oh my God. Of course we didn't catch this on video. Because why would we? It was like it was smart. It was like it waited till we turned our phones off or turned the camera off, and then it did stuff. It's like, oh, they turned it off. Now we start doing stuff.
Yeah, we still got really good stuff. So because the last night we heard knocking and stuff coming from the closet, and I recorded that one. Yeah, and then Janet, of course, says, "Be quiet. I want to go to sleep," and then it stopped.
Yeah, knock it off.
Yeah, knock it off, she said. I want to go to sleep. And I go like, hey, you're here for ghost hunt, and then you tell knock it off.
Yeah.
And the ghost is like, oh crap, she's grouchy.
And then the night before, one night, she's crazy, right? You go ghost hunt, you want something happen. I mean, when it happens, you go like, go away, because you get scared at that point. Anyway, she took a freaking sleeping pill. So if something happened to me, I'm screwed, right? It happened. So that night, I heard footsteps down in the kitchen. We had the whole duplex by ourselves. I heard footsteps like boots in the kitchen. Somebody doing something in the kitchen, and then the footsteps come upstairs, and I go, Janet, and I go like, oh gosh, please don't open the door, right? And I kept calling her, and she wouldn't wake up.
Nope.
So the footsteps stopped, went down, and then it just stopped, and that was the end of it. But that's the morning where she woke up with a bruise.
Oh, tell him about when you thought I was in the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
making for breakfast.
So yeah, I'm upstairs, right across from our room is a bathroom. You have to go through the door to see the bathroom, but it's across from our room. And Janet goes, I'm going to the bathroom and putting makeup on. So I said, okay, I'll wait till I go to the bathroom. So I'm sitting on the bed, I'm on my phone and stuff.
I left my
and she's and I said, like, she takes a long, long time in the freaking bathroom.
I didn't go to the bathroom. I went downstairs.
So, anyways, I went downstairs. Well, I heard it knocking. And I heard her saying from the bathroom, open the door. So I'm thinking, okay, now I'm going to go downstairs. So I'm going downstairs and Janet opened the door. She's downstairs and I go like, how did you get downstairs so fast? Well, downstairs she says, I opened the door. I'm coming or something. But upstairs, the door was closed. The bathroom door was closed because I went down and she said, open the door, or can you open the door? Then when I look upstairs, the door was open. But Janet was downstairs the whole time, she said.
I was in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Tacos. Warming up tacos.
We had another question for you. This is for Petra. What drew you into the field overall? It feels from a young age and sister possibly.
What'd she say now?
She asked what drew you into the field overall? It feels from a young age and sister possibly.
Oh, I don't have a sister. I'm the only child. But what draws me into it was like, since I'm 4 years old, I could see from angels to demons and nobody believed me. And I had so many other encounters in my bedroom as a child and had to deal with all by myself. And then when I got older, and I found out that my great-grandmother liked to tell my mom scary stories, ghost stories. And I always believed that my grandma was somehow open to things, my great-grandmother. Because what is really weird, I did a movie which was not edited the right way, but it called it Black Lucy. It was about a witch who came from Germany and who killed kids. And she fled from Germany to the States. And then we went to her grave, and if you spit to her grave 3 times and say, Black Lucy, she would come. So that was the story. After years, like I said, it never made it anywhere because it wasn't edited the right way. One day I'm going to refilm it. But anyways, I'm also a filmmaker. I did horror movies, drama, comedy. I don't do sci-fi, but I forgot to say that. And I won some of the film festivals also.
Oh, nice.
And I did a feature about Chincoteague ponies, which won Best Feature Film in the festival. But anyways, I talked my mom about that Black Lucy movie. And my mom said that my great-grandma used to scare her with a story about Black Lucy, who was a witch in our hometown. If the kids don't listen or they're still out at nighttime, she would take the kids. I had no idea. So my story and my great-grandma's story without knowing somehow matches.
Oh, wow.
I need to refilm this again. Want to be in my movie?
Sure.
I kill you?
Wow.
No, she's in my granddaughter Madison. She's in my Night Mist movie, and in my Always Believe as a fairy. I have her riding as a fairy on a unicorn.
That's because I know.
Here, I can show you that.
Oh,
Yeah, you see the poster? That's
Yep.
my granddaughter.
2021.
Awesome.
I don't know if you can see it.
I have that photo still.
And then Jeanette, Missy had a question for you too. What pulled you into the field? Was there any part of your youth that resonated with any part you have explored as an investigator?
Well, let's see. I was born into it. I've had this gift since I was a baby. I'm an empathic medium. So I've been able to see and talk to dead people literally since I was a baby. I've actually been levitated 3 times. Once when I was a baby, I fell off the changing table, and before my mom could grab me, because she had forgot to grab a diaper, she took a couple steps away and went to grab a diaper, and I went ahead and fell off, and I got caught in midair, and I floated over and landed in a pile of clothes that was off to the side, and I was fine. And then Yeah, another time I was 6 and I levitated down a hallway and my babysitter seen me. And that's a whole story in itself. That's one of my last babysitters that I had. I couldn't keep babysitters. So, and of course, I'm an only child too. Can't imagine why. So, yeah, I've had my gift ever since I was a baby. I've went through a lot of heck because I spent a lot of time alone dealing with my stuff. I used to be terrified of the dark, and my dad used to try to get me over it. And because I had a nightlight on, because I was terrified, and my dad started making me turn my nightlight off. And he'd come in, turn that nightlight off. You're quit being a baby, and he'd turn it off, and I'd try to sneak and turn it back on, and he'd come in and yell at me and turn it back off. And of course, there'd be like street lights out, so I'd go open the curtains just so I could have some light in, because I'd wake up and I'd have scratches all over me. I'd wake up with scratches on me at a young age. I'd hear whispering all the time, and I'd tell him to shut up. I'd be being touched. I would see people in my room, like solid people. I seen solid people all the time. I seen them solid, like normal people. They would be solid, normal people. I didn't see them like they were like in an accident or anything like you'd see on movies. I see them like they were real. I didn't see them like with knives through their heads or anything like horror movies. I mean, they were normal people. I rarely seen them scary. Sometimes I knew they were bad people though. But I do see shadow people. I've seen aliens. The aliens scared the crap out of me a couple times. They knock you out though, so they don't usually let you see them too long. So
Right.
yeah, you go out with them. They're like, oh, aliens out. So they don't let you remember that too much. But
I've got a buddy that communicates with aliens through meditation.
Oh no, they speak English, by the way. In case anybody wants to know what language they speak English. So, because I heard them talking about like, hey, is she awake? I don't know.
Hey, do you know why they speak English? Because they don't want to get deported by Trump.
Probably.
I'm sorry, I had to say that.
Yeah, they don't want to get deported. Maybe, I don't know. This was years ago, but hey, maybe they just knew something we didn't.
Yeah, maybe. Have you guys checked out the Warren's Occult Museum yet?
No, we're friends with Shooty Spira. And we seen Annabelle, and we went where they had what was the hotel we went to now? But the first time I saw Annabelle, they had Annabelle at a restaurant. Annabelle, then the shadow doll and the conjuring mirror and something else. And then they moved to that hotel. Gosh, Mohegan Sun. Mohegan Sun. Yeah, and then that's where I took Janet then with me.
Yeah, and there's us with Nick Groff in front of Annabelle right there. There's Annabelle.
Yeah, because the water museum is closed down because of the zoning. But now they travel around with it.
Oh yeah, they'll be in Gettysburg here in July because we'll be in Gettysburg with them.
Oh wow!
Gosh, I want to go to Gettysburg in July.
It's actually sold out already.
One of these days,
maybe next year.
Next year.
We're gonna be out there, and we're going to check out the battlefields and investigate the battlefields and stuff.
Hey, you guys gonna go spend the night in the Farnsworth house? I was scared.
Oh yeah,
I went. Gosh, I forgot what room I have, but it's when you go upstairs, is on the right-hand side, right under the attic. I forgot what room it was, but I tell you, there was where the little boy died. They had the picture in from the spirit on the bed. So I'm alone in the room, and you have the picture on the wall from the spirit, whatever. And I slept with my clothes on, if I even slept. I heard somebody walking around in my room, somebody walking next room, which was my stepdaughter in, and they had one activity after another in their room also. And the whole time I felt like somebody's watching me.
Oh, I bet. We were there last September, and we were walking through the Farnsworth house, and you could feel the energy in that place.
Yeah, you need to stay in that room I stayed in. Gosh, it's right under the attic on the right-hand side.
Okay.
Look for the ghost picture where the boy died. It's the room where the boy died.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely check that out when we go back there, because I'm good friends with Ghostly Images of Gettysburg.
And then do that. And Pam and, Pam and Stephen from the Hoover House.
Yep.
That's a good place to stay too. I always have activity in there too, but it's all friendly.
Yeah, we stayed at the Days Inn just a little bit outside of town near the battlefields, and my dad woke up and he seen a figure standing in our hotel room looking at us.
I had that in Savannah. I took my grandson to Savannah and we stayed in the Marshall House. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I seen a soldier from the Civil War standing right above my bed. And then we used just last year, I think my husband, my stepdaughter, and her husband, we stayed in a cabin in the woods somewhere in Virginia or West Virginia. But gosh, when we went up the cabin at night, it looked like out of the Evil Dead cabin.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, some of that stuff in the Appalachians.
And you have to go over this big bridge to go to your cabin and stuff. And I told my husband, I said, if that's not haunted, I don't know. It looked like out of the Evil Dead. And then I woke up in the middle of the night and my cat ball, I had the cat ball between, because they had two twin-size beds. So my husband slept in one bed, I'm in the other, and we had the nightstand between us. My cat ball came on. And then, then in the middle of the night, I woke up and I screamed because I saw a shadow figure bending over me. My dog, we had our German Shepherd with us and he didn't do anything. But I saw that shadow figure bending over to me and I screamed. And then my husband said, that's why I don't go ghost hunt with you.
Did you hear the woman of the woods? Because she's known to be screaming throughout the woods in West Virginia.
Of Petra. Petra would
That's probably me screaming, being scared.
Petra of the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a woman that was killed by a bunch of lumberjacks, a young girl, and they drug her back into the woods back there and murdered her. And they never did find her body. They eventually did find her skull. And that was it. And her spirit haunts the woods and screams throughout the woods.
I'm still looking for the lady in Cocoa Beach in the Ashley restaurant. There was a lady, she was killed too, and they found her on the railroad tracks. And every time I go to the Ashley restaurant, I'm still looking for her. I do a ghost tour one day there on a Monday.
Yeah. Did you guys ever check out Waverly Hills yet?
Not yet. The next place I want to go here because I'm babysitting my grandson during the summer. What I want to check out next, I'm gonna go to the Last Resort.
Yeah, I'm gonna come down to Florida.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go before you and see if what I get, because I always can take you with me next time. Because the guy's already 80 or almost 90 years old. I want to go now before.
Oh,
yeah.
Please.
Yeah. So if you watch the movie Monster, right, about the Eileen Warner story, the serial killer in Florida, she got arrested at the Last Resort.
Yeah, Kane Hodder's in that movie. Kane Hodder, Jason Voorhees.
The guy Al, the owner, he's in the movie too.
Kane Hodder.
He told me that.
Oh yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah, he said 15 minutes after Eileen's execution, they saw her sitting at the bar.
I'll be with Kane Hodder at the end of the month here at Crypticon.
Oh, hey, tell Kane that Petra, the German girl, says hi. He knows.
I will.
Yeah, and the Air Force says hi too.
Okay, I'll tell him.
Kane once said we need to do a movie together.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He was just up in Tennessee here at the Smoky Mountain Terror also.
Yeah, he makes almost fun how I say my grandson's name.
Him and I get talking about paranormal quite a bit when I see him.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
he's.
That says
I
hi.
really like him. Well, and then going back to Eileen Warner's, like down from, you can even walk to, there is a motel, and that's a motel she stayed in. The room is still there. That's where she stayed with her girlfriend when she committed the murder. So I'm gonna
wow.
go. I'm taking my German Shepherd with me.
You
So-
should take me with you.
Mary, not at that hotel. That's not a really nice motel where I would take a kid with me.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Like I take you to a nice haunted place, but not
Place.
like when they
my
fight.
God.
Yeah,
Hell, bite them back.
it's not about the spirits. It's about the people around here. Because you gotta be scared of people more than.
I'm already scared of talking to people. What's the difference?
Oh my goodness.
If you ever get out to Missouri, check out Missouri State Penitentiary.
Oh, Janet and I be planning also to go to. I want to go to the ex-murder house in Iowa.
Oh, Velisca, yep.
Yeah, and to the Shining Hotel, room 217. I want to do that.
The
That's
Stanley.
the two really, yeah.
I
But the
heard they stopped the ghost hunts at the Stanley.
They did?
Kicked out.
Yeah, they stopped it, I guess, for a while, the ghost hunts at the Stanley Hotel. I don't know if they're starting them back up again or not.
Because they have tunnels there too, I heard, where you can do the ghost hunt and you're going through the tunnels and stuff.
Yep. But Missouri State, if you ever get out to Missouri, that's a good place to go to, Missouri State. You would
That'd be
enjoy
cool.
that private overnight
I
investigation.
tell you, the Enfield Demon House was pretty cool too, because the owners are awesome. They're really, real nice. And then Alka is German, so we cooked German food together that one day.
Oh, nice.
And we had so much activity too.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I talked to them not too long ago. We were video chatting back and forth. Because
Yeah, they're the nicest people.
they know I'm related to John Zaffis and Ed and Lorraine Warren, so.
Yeah.
Oh, I finally got to meet John the other day. Finally. So, yeah, I was excited. So
He probably had you laughing for hours, too.
Oh, it was briefly. So I got to get his autograph right there. You can't see his black, but I finally got. I went to Connecticut twice, dragging this picture with me, and I finally got him to autograph it because he wasn't in Connecticut. So I finally got him to autograph it because I've ghost hunted with Brian a couple of times. So
Oh, Brian Cano, yep.
yeah. So,
Oh, Janet, we went to the Captain Grant's the one you see in 28 Days Haunted on Netflix. We went to that one too. We stayed in the same room where Austin stayed. We friends with Austin. Yeah, we friends with Austin and them also there in the Netflix film.
Okay, yeah.
I'll be ghost hunting with Dustin in August. So, Dustin.
Are you coming out to the Paracon, Kansas City one?
No, and down in Delaware, Ohio. There's a jail down there.
Okay, because
got down to Delaware.
He's going to be here in August at Kansas City at the Paracon here. Yep, Dustin is.
Nope. It's I wrote it on the calendar, August something or other. So he must just be like doing it and hauling butt. So
yeah, because
they don't do anything here in Orlando, Florida at all. They go to all those places far away, but nothing here in Orlando.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why they don't do something in Orlando. They're either up north or they're east or they're out west.
Yeah. Because
but hardly anything here at all.
Not haunted enough.
No, we had that fantastic Paracon where Chris McKenna, Judy Spear's son, came.
Yep.
And then Joe Frankie came to that one every year because I get in free because I have my movies in there. So I spend it the weekend in a hotel and we hang out all 3 days. But now they don't have it anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that are stopping, I've noticed. A lot of it has to do with the drama that's going on in the paranormal field right now.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Just let people be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
That's kind of ridiculous. I've heard some of that stuff, and it's like, oh, come on. Like people making stuff up about each other. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's an ongoing thing. It's more like a competition now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody is better or so-called professional, whatever.
Mm.
I mean, I
And
just go out there. I have fun. I go for the history,
Yeah.
and catch something I do. And if nothing, that's what I told Jay and Elka when we came up there because we did a documentary. I said, hey, listen, if nothing happens, we still hang out, we still have fun, and we
Yep.
have the whole history. And
The
Jay took us to the whole town with the history just alone of it. That was so cool. Just the history of the house itself.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. Just having
Yeah.
fun, investigating with your team and checking out the history.
But then we got some stuff happening too. It's like, oh, great, okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then you know what, Janet and I, as much we are together and traveling, we never got into an argument. But I was really mean to her when we were up there.
Hit me.
I got often angry with her for no reason.
It could
Never
be the
happened before.
it could be the house that did it to you.
Yeah, it never happened before.
She was a bit grouchy, but
Yeah, the McIntyre Villa is another good one for you guys to check out too. Stephanie, she loves everybody that comes out there, and she'll let you film there as well.
You know what? I really want to go in and try to go in. It's a devil school in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Nobody ever investigated it because they don't want anybody in. But I'm trying.
Talk to the city. Sometimes they'll let you in if you work out it with them, and a lot of times they will. They'll give you
Even it's
permission.
during that, it doesn't even have to be at nighttime because if things happen, there's daytime too.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
would rather go to the daytime because I feel safer, especially the area it's in.
Yep.
I just want to go in there. I just want to see I just want to find out if the legend is true or not. And I think to every urban legend must be a truth somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, there is some that are true. There's some that are debunked.
Yeah.
That's
really the Hinsdale house. Definitely.
Yeah, that's where I want to go too.
And then I think Daniel has another place that he owns too that he said's down the road. He kind of puts them as a package deal. If you want to do one and then spend the night in another one. So I forgot the name of the other place that he has. It's Insane Asylum, or I forgot the name of it though. But it's down the road a little bit. But he owns both of them.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, that'd be a good deal. So
we've got a haunted movie theater that we do out here. And this was actually on the TV show Dead Files in 2012.
Oh, wow.
We're the only team since Dead Files that go in there.
Huh.
Do you know what I told Elke and Jay? If they really want to know what happened at their house, they need to call the people from Dead Files.
Yeah.
I really trust them. I think that they will get a lot of answers from Amy and Stephen.
They don't.
Oh, yeah.
They're not filming anymore though.
No, the show got canceled. Amy actually stepped away from the paranormal altogether.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Yeah, she got attacked
by a ghost person.
Yeah, she got spiritually attacked.
Oh, wow.
And then I know she had some medical issues. I've seen some Instagram pictures where she had surgery too.
Because I heard they coming back filming, but I guess that was not true then.
No, they're trying. Steve and them are trying to get it back. There's a whole big page where you can sign to voice your opinion about bringing the show back.
Because they had it with the other girl from the Holzer Files, but it wasn't just the same.
Oh, Cindy. Yeah, Cindy Keza. Yeah. I know Cindy.
Yeah.
It was pretty nice.
Yeah,
Yep,
but you're
she's
so used to Amy and
yeah.
Steve together that it wasn't just the same.
Yeah.
And I proved Amy's a legit medium. Everything that she picked up on Dead Files and even the history that Steve picked up, we backed it up with evidence. We captured the same stuff when we investigated.
Sorry, I keep
And
Yeah.
messing with my phone. My phone is just messing up all of a sudden, so I'm gonna have to hold it. So I don't know why it's starting to act dumb on me. It's plugged in. I had to plug it in. It's acting dumb.
But yes, all that stuff that Amy picked up in there doing her walkthrough, we were able to get video evidence and a lot of EVPs out of that place. I saw a full-bodied apparition in the basement of that movie theater.
Oh, wow.
My dad got pushed to the floor
Oh.
up in Cinema 2, which Amy calls that the place where the dead like to throw down.
Where is it again, you said?
Amy says it's the place where the dead like to
No,
throw
I mean,
down.
what city and state did you say?
It's in Marshall, Missouri.
Oh, Missouri. There's a lot of haunted places in Missouri.
Missy wants to know, you, Petra, what is the reflection behind you?
I have a mirror behind me. There's behind me because I'm in my bedroom. There's a mirror behind me.
That's probably what she's saying. It's, but yeah, that.
And then I had my dog jump in earlier. He wanted to be a part of the podcast, I guess.
Some animals do. I had Dave Schrader on, and his cat wanted to be part of it.
Yeah, my cat was. That's who I've been sitting here fighting with, is trying to keep my cat out, and she's been like attacking the plug-in. So if you see me saying squirming, it's because my cat.
Does she still see a reflection? Because I'm sitting up more.
She hasn't posted yet. If you still see it, Missy, post it in the chat. But yeah, that movie theater, there was a man that was shot and killed there, right out in front on the sidewalk. There was a girl that was kidnapped about 100 feet from there waiting for her date, and she went missing for 17 years.
Oh, wow.
And they found her in the river, strangled to death, murdered.
Ooh.
And she haunts that movie theater as well, and she doesn't like the living. She'll throw temper tantrums, bang on things. She'll pinch staff members. And just recently here, the owner was telling me she had two people in there cleaning, and they were in Cinema 1 sweeping the floor one morning, and they see the seats sitting there going up and down like this, and then they hear a conversation going on. And we had she's a former member now. We were investigating Cinema 3, and she's sitting in the front row in front of the camera. Her husband's on the back row, and I'm in the middle. And she's sitting there, and she starts taking her thumb down the side of her face. And so she gets up thinking she had something in her eye. So she goes to her husband. He looks. He don't see nothing. She sits back down in the same chair. And then all of a sudden she starts digging her face again with her thumb.
Oh, no.
And then her face just morphs to somebody else. And we didn't know this was going on at that time. We get up to leave. She gets to the lobby door, and the door slams in her face. She goes out in the lobby, and she says, "My face feels like it's on fire." So we go to the bathroom right there, turn the light on. She's looking in the mirror, and you see 3 scratches down the side of her face. So when I reviewed the footage, I found out something had taken her over and changed her face all to something different, and she was just sitting there just digging her face.
I had that happen at I stayed in a haunted bed and breakfast, and we did a seance and stuff. And that lady said there is a guy in the kitchen. He's afraid of me. And I said, he doesn't have to be afraid of me. And then he said, his name is Sam. And I said, you don't have to be scared of me. And then she said, well, he says he really likes you. So I said, I meet you in my room later on. So he says, I can do that. So, well, they had this really nice spa bathtub, big, huge bathtub with bubbles and stuff. Of course, I take a bath there. The bathroom door opens. I said, hey, Sam, I need some privacy. Bathroom door closes. I said, hey, cool. So when I go out the bathtub, I get dressed and stuff, and then I stand in front of the mirror, and I said, hey, Sam, I said, if you're here, you want to take a selfie. So I take a picture. It comes always in my Facebook, the memories of my Facebook.
Yeah.
I have to save it. Well, one part of my face is normal, and the second part of my face is a guy's face.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's like mirror scrying, when you mirror scry. And your face will start changing in the mirror to something else.
But you can see my face, and then you can see the guy's face. I had that happen with it. Do you remember the first time you had the haunted doll in your hand? The doll you didn't like?
I've hated so many dolls you gave me because they just give off bad vibes, Uma. I don't know what one you're talking about, but I have a lot.
So I've got a doll from the guy from the Walking Dead show. He found a doll because I'm friends with some of the cast. So he's in Georgia, and they have the Victorian house, and he said, I moved back in my parents' house, and I went up the attic. I found this doll, and I don't know where the doll comes from. Never saw it before.
Wait, what did it look like?
The little doll, that one little doll I had in the rocking chair, but then my dog broke it. The little, with the green eye doll.
I don't remember that.
The one who looks like burnt.
No, I remember. Wait, the one with the weird hair?
Yeah, no, that with the weird hair, the one had no hair. It looked like burnt.
Whoa. I remember the one that had like tiny hairs of strands just sticking out.
Yeah, that is from my Baby Blue movie, the horror movie, that doll. Well,
that's the only one I actually remember.
So, well, anyways, he said he's gonna send me the doll. I said, I want it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he sent it off. He said, you should get it in 3 or 4 days. I don't get the doll at all. For some reason, go from Georgia, it got stranded in New York.
Oh, wow.
Georgia is the next state over. So anyways, I finally then get the doll, and he sent me a picture of the doll. He said, well, I can see it moving. It moved 6 feet, and we have it out in the garage in a box, and I don't want it. I said, I take it. So anyways, when the doll is a really old doll, I had it checked out. It's like from the 1900s, but it looked like it was somehow burned or maybe melted from the attic, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the doll anymore because now my dog broke it. But the dress she had on, when they have this undergarment and then you put a dress over, like the old clothing.
Yeah.
Well, the doll only came with the undergarment and not with the dress, which had flowers on it. So I sent him a picture and I said, hey, where's the rest of the clothes? He said, no, I sent it the clothes with you. I said, maybe she got hot in Florida and took her clothes off. So he said, let me look in the box where I keep her. He looks in the box, and the clothes, the dress is all torn up in the box.
Oh,
he said,
wow.
It's ripped into pieces, and I don't know why. I said, send it to me. He said, I don't want nothing from this doll. So he's sending me the ripped clothes from her. And then I did a movie. We had when we were quarantined. And I was Orlando Independent Filmmakers at the time, and everybody did like a movie from their home, like a little horror movie from their house. So I took my phone and I had all my haunted dolls and my creepy dolls out and my Ouija board and had it edited with I gotta send it to you.
Okay.
That I had this doll hanging up, and her eyes turned like green and her cat eyes when I hung the doll up. Her eyes totally changed. The first when I got the doll, I had it in a bag and I had it zipped. And she opened the bag and she said, I don't like the doll. So I kept it in the bag. And my granddaughter comes back, and I think she was like, you 12 now. I think she was like 8 or 9 at this
How
time.
do you expect me to remember that?
So, because you're younger than me. So, anyways, for some reason, she opened the bag and she was holding the doll, and she just stood there, was holding the doll. And I took a picture. And my granddaughter's face wasn't her face anymore. It was like the doll's face.
Okay. Yep.
So I don't have this picture anymore because I didn't want to show it on Facebook. And I didn't want to show it to my daughter because I go like, she cannot come over to my house anymore.
Right.
You should
Yeah.
have saved it, though.
The main thing with them haunted dolls, when you handle them, keep them away from anywhere of this part of your body because it mixes with your heart chakra, especially your darker dolls. And you never want to handle them with your bare skin either.
Oh, I always did though.
Yeah, you really don't want to because you don't want
Don't
any
say
of
that to
that.
me.
You don't want any of that touching your bare skin at all.
Yeah. Well, I know now.
We picked up some haunted dolls last September from a client she was blind, partially blind, and these dolls were wreaking havoc in her house. And we had brought them to a Paracon the next day, and we had them sitting on our table, but they had been bound to a case all night with holy water and blessed metals and blessed salt. There was a paranormal team right across from us, and they were running their equipment, and that doll was talking through their equipment, and it said murder, he lied, hit him with a shovel. They come over to tell me, and immediately the one team member started getting heart palpitations from the other doll.
Oh, wow.
And we were on the haunted object panel, so I brought the one main doll down, and they did a double Estes method with her, and she was saying things that other people didn't even know. One investigator called her name had been changed 16 years ago. They called her by her original name. And then it kept calling me, telling me to take it back. And the rest of the dolls are actually in the Warrens Occult Museum now.
Oh, wow.
And this doll made a whole room go dark. We had the lights off. We're down in this basement, and it's not dark down there. There's windows, sun shining in. We looked to see if maybe it was a cloud going over. It wasn't. This room just got pitch dark. The energy just shifted. And the one investigator, my buddy Mike, he went up there to count him out of Estes, and that doll was doing the counting for him. When he hit 8, the doll went 2. And then told him to shut the fuck up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that doll was vicious. The other one, too, the other ones that are in the Warrens Occult Museum, now they're pretty bad, too. They'll turn and look at a camera and grin. There's one, she's only about this long. Her eyes are gouged out, and my client was calling her little Annabelle. And she's the one that gives heart palpitations.
But I tell you one thing, since that happened with my dollhouse, I don't want haunted stuff anymore.
Yeah,
I keep what I have, but the dollhouse did it for me.
If you get haunted items, send them off to John Zaffis.
I sent mine to Jimmy. I ended up with a haunted jacket, and I sent mine to Jimmy. And
Mr. Haunted?
Yes. That
oh,
thing
yeah. He knows how to handle them from working with the Warrens and stuff, so.
I wouldn't have believed this if you paid me, but I had a friend, and she had bought it at Goodwill, and it was a leather jacket, and it was really nice. It was a man's large size jacket, and she had bought it for her friend, and she took it home, and she took it in her house, and she's going to clean it up. And the minute she took it in her house, she put it down, and just said her cats started acting weird. And there was this fog stuff that kind of happened around her ceiling. So she's like, the heck? Later on, her dishes that she had sitting on her counter, like, cracked. Dishes that just cracked for no reason. She heard growling in her house that wasn't her cats. She knows how her cats sound. This was like evil growling. Then she started getting the creeps, and she's like, okay, that's enough of this crap. So she took the jacket and put it back in the trunk of her car. And then this nonsense stopped in her house. She only had this jacket in her house for like a day. And then, because she said there was just like fog around there. And so she called me, and she's like, Jeanette, I've got something. I want you to take a look at it. So she's like, I'm like, yeah, bring it on over. So a couple days later, she brings it over. And so of course I got my stuff out, and we're trying to figure out what's going on with it. And we got some EVPs from it, and I wrote a letter out to Jimmy about story about it. And of course I sent that with the jacket because that went to him. But while I had it, I hung it in my kitchen closet. And one day I was just sitting on my couch and I was watching TV, broad daylight. This was a couple years ago. And I felt this pinch on my leg. And I'm like, what the heck? Now, I am not this flexible. I wish I was, but I sent you the picture. Human bite marks on the back of, of my leg. Those were human teeth marks, top and bottom. And later that night, I had a police officer look at it because we were at the popcorn festival here in Marion. And I had a cop look at it because one of my friends was friends with a cop. And I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And he's like, who bit you? And a couple of days, not that next day, but the day after, I had to go have an operation done. And I had a nurse look at it, and she's like, those are human teeth marks, but there's no indentation from somebody, just the bruising of it. There's no, when somebody bites you, there's no broken skin. It's just the bruising of it. But you can see the individual teeth marks of it.
Yeah.
You can see it's human teeth marks. And then after that went away, probably about I'd say 2 weeks later, it looked like somebody took a needle. I was sitting and I was home alone, and I'm sure as heck not going to let somebody just come in and bite me. And I'm sure I had somebody say, oh, and that can be explained. I'm sure you can't explain it. You can explain anything. But fact is, I was home by myself and nobody was gnawing on my leg.
Exactly.
And then the next thing that happened was about 2 weeks later. I was sitting there on my butt again, watching TV, and broad daylight, and then stabbed, and it felt like somebody took a needle and stabbed my leg. And I sent you the picture of that. And that bled and bled and bled. It would not quit bleeding. It felt like somebody took a needle and just stabbed the back of my leg. And it was about the same spot. And it finally quit bleeding. It was just weird. And it was about the same place as the bite mark.
Penn Paranormal had a question. What do you think makes a doll haunted?
Well, I don't think a doll is haunted. I think it has an attachment. That's what I think. And what I believe too is like, if you have a doll with an attachment and you pay attention to it and talk to it and stuff, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Like the same happened with the Annabelle doll.
Yep.
I think if they would have paid less attention to the Annabelle doll, it wouldn't have gotten to that point. I think, I don't know, but that's what I think.
Right.
And I think, I just don't think a doll is normally haunted. I just think it's an attachment.
Yeah, they're just vessels.
When you, as a child, I played with so many dolls, and especially with Barbie dolls, you give them all attention. And when kids play with baby dolls, how much attention the dolls get, and you don't have any attachment to it. But I think I just talked to my mom because I got 2 dolls when I was 6 or 7 or 8 years old, maybe. I got 2 antique dolls. At this time, I didn't know they were antique dolls. They were just dolls for me. But they were porcelain dolls and old dolls. Because I know now, I don't have the dolls anymore. I wish I would, because now they would be money worth.
Yeah.
But the one had long hair, and this other one was like a totally baby doll, like the size of a real baby. And I used to play with them. And that's where stuff also happens in my bedroom. But at the time, I didn't know. And I just, with all that haunted dolls, whatever, I just talked to my mom and I said, hey, the guy who gave you the dolls, he had 3 boys. Where did he get the dolls from? And he said from his wife who committed suicide. So that were the wife's dolls, and he gave it to me because he had 3 boys.
Yeah, and if she was happy with him, she's gonna attach to him because that's something she was happy with. And
I was playing with them, and I paid a lot of attention to them, and and I'm little and play with the dolls and treated them well, but that I had really weird things happen in my room.
Yep. And what, like the case with Annabelle, that was supposed to be the parents thought it was the spirit of a little girl, which Ed's theory that God does not let a child inhabit a doll. So it was disguising itself as the child, and then come to find out it was wreaking havoc on their life. It was a demonic attachment. All these dolls are vessels. If you look like Amish kids' dolls, they have no faces.
Yep.
Because the Amish believe that you're staring into the eyes of the devil. And so that's basically what they are. They're just vessels to hold attachments in. Some are good, some are bad. Like the ones I picked up were bad. They were bad attachments that were in them.
I just wonder if the Annabelle doll already had an attachment at the thrift store where they got her from.
It's a possibility. That could be.
Because you don't really know where it came from before.
Yeah.
Because stuff happened. I mean, how often we have Raggedy Ann dolls and nothing happens. And we pay attention to the dolls and we play with them and nothing happened. Yep. Like even with the dolls I had from that lady who committed suicide, nothing really bad happened in my room, but it was always something there.
Right. And my grandmother had 2 little Raggedy Ann dolls in her house too when I was a kid.
I've got 2 sitting on my bed now and nothing's happened.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He must have an attachment from some before.
Yeah.
Or maybe picked something up from the thrift store. I don't know.
Well, they also said they did something because the parents wanted the spirit of their little girl into that doll to keep her around, and so they've had something done with that Raggedy Ann doll, and a demonic entity inhabited that doll instead of the spirit of that little girl.
That might be just a movie, though, right?
No, some of that is true, and some of it isn't. Some of it's exaggerated for Hollywood.
Yeah.
So maybe the psychic was right when she picked up a little girl. Maybe that was what they tried to do, put the spirit from the girl into the doll, and then it got too much for them, and they put it in the thrift store.
Well,
I don't know.
Your demonic entities are perfect at disguising themselves as a child.
Yeah,
because they do that for your dolls. Because what do you want to do with the doll? You want to bring it home. You want to hold it close to you, so you're an easy target for it to attach onto your heart chakra and your body, and then you got your attachment. Eventually, it jumps off the doll onto a person. I've already seen that happen to several people that didn't know what they were doing with some of these haunted objects, and now they've got an attachment to them. And we remove, like John does, we remove haunted objects out of people's houses and stuff like that.
I wish I would have known you. You could have gotten my dollhouse.
Yeah, I would have taken it from you, and
you should have come down here because it was way too big to ship. I probably would have put it in my backyard then. Out of my house. As long as it was out of my house, I would have put it in the backyard and say, hey, come down and get it.
I would have got it and taken it right to the museum.
Yep.
Well, that's like you're down with Robert the Doll down in Florida.
I did what?
Robert the Doll's down there in Florida.
Oh, yeah, I saw him too. Oh, that was creepy too. I asked him to take a picture, and I took one picture. We went at nighttime. It was my mom was with me. We took the ghost tour. You were in Key West. No, you already left then. My mom and I took a ghost tour at nighttime in Key West, and that was pretty cool. So we went to the museum at night.
Oh,
But
nice.
at night it's really creepy.
Oh, I bet.
But I want to go back at the daytime because you only see a part during the nighttime and you don't see the whole museum.
Mhm.
But it was the night was with Robert the Doll. And it was.
You guys ought to come out to Rock Island Paracon in Rock Island, Illinois in October. The Warren's Occult Museum will be there. Annabelle, quite a few different objects will be there.
You know, the first time, and I told Tony too, the first time I saw Annabelle,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't that impressed with Annabelle as I was with that shadow doll.
Oh yeah, that shadow doll. That thing's something else.
So
The
at
shadow
that
doll and
point,
the fire doll were kind
well,
of creepy.
at that point, when the first time I saw it, it was in a restaurant. The whole it was like in a restaurant. They had, and then you have the buffet and stuff.
Oh, the
And you
evening
can
with
get-
Annabelle. Yep.
Yeah, and you can get really close to everything. Now it's like got it off, but when it was at that restaurant, you can get close to everything. So I was so into that demon doll that I was walking around it, and I checked out like every single thing around that shadow doll. Every detail on the shadow doll. I was like really memorized with the shadow doll. Well, when I came back to Florida, the first night I'm back home, I have a nightmare about the shadow doll.
Oh yeah.
So I texted Judy and I said, "Hey, I've got this nightmare about the shadow doll. I want to make a movie from it." And she said, "You can't because the Warner Brothers have all the rights to that museum."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, "But they don't film with the shadow doll." She said, "It doesn't matter."
Yeah, they have a contract agreement with Warner Brothers.
But since that night, I look at it and I stay away from it because it would have been a great movie if I could have filmed my dream.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. I did a session with the shadow doll when they were out here in Missouri with it.
When I was walking around and I was looking at the stuff from Amityville, they had their outfits that they wore in Amityville.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting creeped out by something. There was something there that was just creeping me out, and I really couldn't quite put my finger on it. And, I'm ex-military, so I know, what the ribbons and stuff are and the pins and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I know, Ed was in the Navy, and, I seen the pin and whatnot, but there was just stuff from Amityville, and there was just something there, and I just couldn't figure out. And it was just something that was on Ed's side. I don't know why, but it was something I couldn't figure it out, and it was just driving me insane. Something was creeping me out, and it was setting me off. It was just setting my spidey senses off. And it was something small. I literally right now I can't remember what it was. And I went and got someone to ask what it was, and they're like, "Oh, that's a pin. He was in the Navy." I'm like, "Really?" I understand that because I'm prior military. I know that's a pin,
Right.
but there was I forget, there was something else there.
Well, did you know his history? He was on that ship out at sea that got bombed by the Japanese that sunk, and he spent quite a few days in the water.
There was something from the Amityville place that was just setting me off. And it was creeping me out to the point it was making me get jittery, and that does not happen to me. Nothing, not too much, except for spiders and clowns. Nothing much creeps me out.
Yeah, saying clowns.
No.
We go into the clown motel in Nevada. Yes, we do.
No.
Yes, we do.
No.
I'm gonna track you there.
You get Michael Rosenbaum to go, I'll go. That's the only way I'm going there. Michael Rosenbaum, fine. Other than that,
he's not gonna help you either.
So that's the only way I'm going. Get Michael Rosenbaum to go, then I'm in. Other than that, nope.
Hey, so clowns are cute. Come on.
Back. safe, and all the lights are staying on, and he's gonna be outside that door.
Hey, listen, I let you leave the lights on. That's more than what you did to me in the Enfield house. I wanted to sleep with the lights on because a guy grabbed my face. And she said, no, the lights are off. I cannot sleep with the lights on.
Put you by the door and I take a sleeping pill. You're
Yeah.
And then I get grabbed. Wait a minute, that's not fair.
Yeah, that's because you were medicated. They knew it.
Then I got scared and I watched Netflix on my phone, so she tells me I have to turn that down too.
Wow,
I said, what the heck?
Like 10 blocks away. Like, my God. Ew, good. My ears were bleeding. I can hear the movie.
I'm watching Netflix and I have it on louder so I don't hear what's going on around me when I'm scared,
God.
It wasn't my grandson.
And I told her to turn down. She starts screaming at me. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to think I'm murdering you over here. Now I am going to catch charges. Why is it every time we go somewhere, I'm going to catch charges? Like, really?
I had one of my...
with you.
I had one of my grandsons here because my son is in the army. He's in Alaska right now. And I had one of my grandsons here to visit. And it was the middle one. Look, And he was in the garage and something fell. So he got scared. And my husband says it's a ghost. So he starts crying and he gets scared and starts crying. And he says, like, Oma, he says, are there ghosts? And I want to calm him down. He's only, gosh, when was he? 5 years old? 4 or 5. So I said, no, there are not things like ghosts. And he says, well, if they're not things like ghosts, why you hunt them? And then he started crying again.
The Enfield house said, meet Heidi.
Do you know what, Heidi? I was with Miss Kenzie. I don't know if it was Mackenzie. I think it was Mackenzie or Courtney. I think it was Mackenzie. When we went to Connecticut, and they boosted up there, and that they had Heidi with them, and I was talking. It was, I think, was it in the Mohegan Sun where we went the last time? I think.
Yeah.
Right. That's what Elke was there too. The Mohegan Sun.
Because I think there was. I wasn't there with you when you seen Elke and all them there.
Oh, you didn't?
Then.
I was in one event where you weren't with me then.
Yeah. I seen Corey and Jennifer and all them with my mom when I brought my mom up there.
Oh, yeah. I was the last time I was by myself. That's true. Yeah. Well, I was with Mackenzie and we were talking and we both saw Heidi moving. I never saw her move or anything at the house. No, but the lights came on. The catwalk came on around her.
Yeah. Yeah, they were coming on around her for no reason. And that catball was coming in between us and the beds. There were separate beds upstairs. That catball was coming on in between us for no reason.
And the catball is you have to actually touch it. Mm-hmm. It's not like a motion. You have to actually touch it for it to come on.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
but I never see Heidi move again. It was the only one at the piano calling. She moved a little bit towards Mackenzie and me.
I should have went downstairs and got Heidi and brought her upstairs while you were sleeping and put her right by your bed. Oh, dang, I would have thought of that.
So, you know what? Hey, you know what I do? Next time I go and we spend overnight, I buy a whole bunch of clowns. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah. Put them around your bed while you sleep.
Yeah, well, I'm going to put your hand in a bowl of water while you're sleeping. So.
I see why Linda calls you two the Laverne and Shirley of the paranormal.
Wake up, scream that freaking dog, be yourself.
Hey, you scared me a second time when I screamed.
You screamed?
I don't remember what it was no more.
I was trying to tell you to turn your phone down because the neighbors were...
Oh, yeah. So, Enfield Demon House, right? I fall asleep with my phone on, still on Netflix, watching Netflix. I'm out sleeping. Shannon tells me to turn my phone off, and when she started talking to me, I screamed.
Oh, my God. I'm getting shut up. Like, oh, Jesus. She has like a screen button. Like, mute. Like,
yeah, Yeah, that was the second time she scared me.
I'm gonna bring duct tape next time, or a sock or something. Just ugh.
I've never screamed out anything with her, but she made me scream twice. For no reason.
Maybe a dog chew toy or something. Just stick in your mouth. Shut up. Turn your phone down. Oh my God. It's loud.
But we find out really good
Go
stuff
sleep.
together, so.
You're gonna wake the dead. Literally.
Well, that's why we have so much activity.
Yeah, you keep them awake. They're getting kind of grouchy.
Well, sometimes that's good. You kick up activity by doing that.
Yeah, but not when I'm trying to sleep. I don't want them kicking up when I'm trying to take a nap. That's probably why I took a sleeping pill, because I was tired. I'm a
Can you imagine? I would get attacked or something and she take a sleeping. What kind of investigator does that? Taking a sleeping pill.
I'm a light sleeper, and I'm a really light sleeper. I mean, I only took one sleeping pill, and oh my God, I wake up, but God, I was exhausted.
I heard those footsteps echo. Janet, echo louder and louder. She not waking up. So I go screw this, blanket over my head and go like, I'm done.
You have it handled. You're good. I woke up anyway. I figured if it was bad enough, you'd drag me out of bed. It'd be all right.
She had a really big bruise the next day, a huge bruise on her arm. It was like a thumbprint.
You would have loved that hotel we stayed at. It was abandoned. There was no running water, so the rest of my team decided they were going to a regular hotel. My dad and I were like, we're staying here. And she had like this little storefront, had a couch and a chair. When we crashed in there, had a generator running all the cameras. Well, about 3 o'clock in the morning, the generator runs out of gas.
Oh, crap.
Light goes out, cameras go out. And I start nodding off, and my dad says, hey, you awake? I'm like, barely. What? He says, look in the doorway. I look up in the doorway, and here's a 6'5" dark shadow figure standing in the door looking at us. And it didn't bother us. We didn't freak out or anything. We just watched him, and he just stood there just staring at us, and then he just disappeared.
I put some of my stories in Barbara O'Rourke's book, and so some of my stories are in her book from seeing shadow figures.
We think it's the former owner, because he was a big burly guy. He was about 6'5". He was from Germany, and he wrestled, and he loved that hotel. We figured he haunts the hotel. He's coming back to check on his guests because the power went out. He knew he had guests in the hotel, so he came to check on us. And he would pay people's personal property taxes for them if they couldn't pay, or if they were losing their farm. He'd rent them rooms in the hotel and let them store their stuff there. And he used to, some say he was part of the mob also, and he was bootlegging liquor out of his liquor store, and he had a tunnel going from under the street from the liquor store to the hotel for the basement, for the speakeasy that he was running down in the basement. And we found his liquor stash, all his moonshine that he was making, and we opened it up to smell it, took a lighter to it. It wouldn't even light anymore. That's how old it is.
Oh, wow.
And the place has been burnt down like 3 times and rebuilt. There was a fireman that fell to his death. He fell through the skylight, thought he was jumping off the roof, and he ended up falling to his death, and a piece of glass came down and pierced right through his heart.
Oh.
And the first time we investigated there, my dad was watching the cameras, and this is middle of summer now. Missouri weather, in the middle of summer, we get up to over 100 degrees out here. And we're all in t-shirts, walk in that room, and it's bitter cold. You could see your breath. He was freezing. We ended up having to put blankets on them, a heat lamp, get them something warm to drink to warm them up. And that night we heard the piano play. Piano was broken, so we were hearing this piano playing in the old ballroom. The one night we went there, we were standing there talking to the owner in the lobby, and my dad rang this old bell that was part of the hotel. And he goes to sit down, and all four of us witnessed this white light just go around him. Could never explain it. And then after that night just picked up with activity. We were down in the lobby, so I started ringing the bell again, and I was yelling for service. And we heard footsteps upstairs, so I was like, let's go upstairs, check that out. And we walk upstairs there's an old library up there, and two of my members, they stayed in the front of the library, and I walked towards the back, and I hear this metallic clank. And I react to it, and they asked me, was that you? And I said, no, that wasn't me. And this metal toolbox lid had lifted up and slammed back down on its own. And I went over there and recreated the sound, and it never only did it once, and that was it. Matter of fact, I've got the video. I'll play it for you guys.
Huh.
What the hell? No.
Huh.
Something obviously didn't like me coming back here. Just how in the hell would that do that? It's like something lifted it up. Went like that. And that's all it ever did.
Hey, I got a question for you. When you drop that and you go, hell, is that shadow yours?
Yeah, that's my shadow. It was reflecting from a red headlamp I had on my head.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that was me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that hotel is extremely haunted.
I had weird stuff happen even in my house when we moved in. So my kids can see shadow. I never heard about shadow people before, you know? But my kids can see shadows and stuff walking by the bedrooms. So I don't want to be like I grew up. So I called the priest in our house, and we had the blessing and everything done. And then, so when I went to work, and I always told my kids, I don't want nobody in the house when I'm not home, because if something happened, I don't want to be responsible for us as kids, you know?
Yeah.
So, well, my son don't listen. So I come home, and he must have been, I think, 10 years old, maybe 10, 11. I get home, and him and his friend sitting in front of the house, and his friend says, I'll never get in your house again. So while they were in the house, and my son is close to the kitchen window to see if I come home, so the kid can go out the back. He said when they were in the house, every door slammed shut.
Oh, wow.
So they were sitting outside, and I said, well, I told you not to have anybody in. And then my daughter, was it last year? She's sleeping in bed with my little grandson, spending the night over, and she's in bed with my little grandson. And she said she felt a woman's arm around her shoulder. She said it wasn't the baby, it was a woman's arm around the shoulder.
Oh, wow.
And then last year, I had a bottle of champagne on my counter, and it's on my counter for maybe half a year. No, I bought it, and sometimes I buy a bottle of wine and then I don't even drink it, you know, or it sits there for a while. The bottle of champagne must have sat there for half a year. I bought it, never opened it. And then I'm in the kitchen, in the living room, I'm talking to my husband, and suddenly it opens all by itself. and the cork flies in the living room.
Wow.
Yeah. So I said, well, thank you. And I had champagne now that night.
Yeah, there you go.
Hmm.
And I used
Yeah.
to work at a haunted school that was built in 1909. You want to talk about a creepy place when you're up there by yourself? The office staff will not be there after dark. If I was leaving to go to lunch, I would have to let her know that I was leaving, and she would leave right along with me because she will not stay in that building by herself. She'd be in the office, and the door handle would be sitting there rattling. And
Oh, wow.
whatever's in there likes to mock voices. She's heard one custodian that used to work there. She heard his voice while she was in the bathroom, and he was up in the main office on the other side of the building. I've been up there by myself working in the building, and nobody's supposed to be in the building but me. And I hear the two cooks from the kitchen. So I go running downstairs to kick them out, and kitchen's locked up tight. Watch the security cameras. Nobody came in and out of the door. Nobody came in the parking lot. And this didn't just happen once. It happened twice to me. Another time I was up there and I heard our kindergarten teacher in the main hallway talking. Go down there. Nobody. And we investigated that school, and the south end bathrooms, we pulled the bathroom door fully shut so it was latched. And I got on video, you see hands from the inside grabbing the door and pulling the door open from the inside.
Oh, wow. Did somebody die at that school?
The old school had burned down in the 1800s, so it's a possibility that somebody did pass away. This town's an old military town also. It's an old Civil War town.
Or maybe too, the place where it was built on, and not the building itself, but where it's built on the land, maybe?
Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, there's a lot of things that happened in this town. I mean, it's got the history of the Mormons coming through here. Jesse James has been through here.
Frank and Jesse James are my cousins.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're blood cousins.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Actually, Frank's first name is Alexander. In case you didn't know that.
Well, when I find the pictures, I'll send you some pictures. I got Jesse James's in the window at his farmhouse.
Yeah, they're actually cousins. Yeah, Kentucky.
Oh, nice.
They hung around that Kentucky, Tennessee area down that way. Everybody always thought out west and stuff, but yeah, they're in our family tree, and everybody's talked about them. And my mom had our family tree done, and we always knew that anyway, Frank and Jesse James. But then we had our background done, and there they were for real. So they're in our family tree right there, Frank and Jesse.
Oh, that's cool.
His first name's actually Alexander.
I live not too far from the cave that they hid out in after they robbed the bank in Gallatin, Missouri. That was the one where they got ambushed, that two of their guys got shot. And the Gallatin courthouse, they had Frank in a cell outside that courthouse on display. And then the Warrensburg, Missouri courthouse, they had Frank in jail there as well, out in the front yard.
Yeah, their mom moved them. So I'm not sure where she moved them to, though.
Jesse was on the farm, and then his mom had to move to the cemetery. He's buried next to his wife.
Okay, I thought they got moved again because people wouldn't leave them alone. I thought they got moved like a couple times.
But a lot of people, there's a lot of theories that Jesse didn't die. He faked his death to get out of the spotlight, and because he was wanted. I don't think Jesse was stupid enough to take his guns off and turn his back on the Fords.
I don't know. No family rumors about that.
But yeah, that's a big history out here in Missouri because of his house in St. Joe, Missouri. That's the one that he was shot in, and And then his farmhouse is in Kearney, Missouri, where he was born and grew up.
Yeah. But he had family in Kentucky.
I've got an EVP of Jesse at his farmhouse in Kearney, yeah.
Huh.
Come across the spirit box.
Wow.
And we were asked by the museum not to post any of it, so we don't have anything online. We got asked to come down because the tour guide had taken a picture of the back window of the house, and Jesse's mom showed up in her 1800s period clothing in the window. Clear as day, so we're thinking maybe there was a picture inside reflecting through the window. So that was one of the reasons why we came down, and the tour guide let us walk through the house while she was locking it back up after everybody came out. And there's no picture hanging on that wall. And as we were there on tour in the actual living room, she's talking about Zerelda, how she had her chair positioned by the bed to watch Jesse's grave right there. And both rocking chairs are sitting there going like this in broad daylight right behind us, just rocking. So I tapped my friend on the shoulder and showed her. I was like, look at these chairs. They're rocking on their own. Because my dad spotted it and he motioned to me, and she says, oh, you kicked it. I'm like, I'm nowhere near it. So we get outside by Jesse's grave, and this guy from Louisiana, he kept hanging back because he knew what we were up to. He knew we were paranormal investigators, and we snuck some equipment in the Jesse James farmhouse. And he confirmed it. He says he was nowhere near it. I was watching them chairs the whole time. They were just rocking on their own. And then we got out in the slave quarters and we did a spirit box EVP session out there. And we got Jesse on the spirit box, and he confirmed Frank was there. And then you hear a little kid come on, I'm here too, which was Archie that was killed there by the Pinkertons. Because they threw a firebomb through the window, which blew Jesse's mom's hand off.
Oh, wow.
And because she threw it back into the fireplace, and the blast ended up killing Jesse and Frank's little brother. And they also hung their stepfather from the tree out front because he wouldn't give up the James boys. And he's one of the founders of William Jewell College out here in Liberty, Missouri.
Well, does it talk about any of the family they had in Kentucky?
Yeah, they do actually.
Okay, that's where we're descended from.
Yep,
we're
actually
family.
Yep, they do. They actually talk about them and Bloody Bill and Crontrell and
the Halls, Englers.
Yep.
That's them.
Okay. And that's pretty interesting.
There's more. There's a couple other little family people in there, but God, because my great grandma, they used to like swing by there and like hide out at her house when they were coming through. So.
And one of my friends out here in Missouri, which is actually they're relatives of mine. Their place, his great grandparents used to hide Jesse and his crew out when they come riding through to go to Kearney.
Yeah, my family did too.
And she would let them stay in the barn, and they would feed them, and
yeah.
So you got a crazy family history like I do.
Oh God, you wouldn't. That's just the tip of it. That's just the tip. You keep digging. We've got 2 big folders full, and it just keeps going. I could sit here for a while telling you who we're related to. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's like me. I'm related to Vincent Price,
Blackbeard the Pirate,
Boris Karloff, Lizzy Borden.
Oh, wow.
The Ed and Lorraine Warren, John Zaffis.
Look, I got.
Oh, yeah. I'm also related to George Washington.
Got the axe. William Penn here. We're related to William Penn.
Okay. Yeah, I was shocked when I found out I'm related to Lizzy Borden.
King Henry the First here. So I guess that relates us to the rest of the King Henrys, since we had the first. And it's all documented, every bit of it. It's the whole entire family tree. It's like, holy crap. And then
Yeah, my cousin Joan, she wrote a book on all the descendants, because most of my family's from Rhode Island and upstate New York.
we just got our volumes back and started digging in it, and we found out that we had relatives back in the 1600s, back in the Salem witch trials.
Okay.
We had relatives there during the witch trials. And I just asked my mom to dig their names back out. I'm like, oh my God. And they were actually smart enough not to run their mouths and get hung or anything. So
Right.
I looked at it and went, oh, nope. Let's just go churn some butter and stay out of that mess.
Well, that's the team in Tennessee Shadow Chasers. Their lead investigator, founder, Erin Hall, I'm related to her.
My oldest son and his wife live in Tennessee. Whitwell.
And I'm related to her through the Ball family because of George Washington. And then, I don't know if you guys ever met Keith and Carl Johnson.
Oh, I met Carl.
I'm related to them as well.
Okay.
Because of my descendant, Lizzy Borden.
Oh, wow. I got her picture hanging on my wall. I think I showed you up there.
Yep.
Oh, yep.
I learned some family secrets about her too.
Yeah, she totally did it. So I think she did.
You know what? You know why she did it though? I found another little secret why she did it.
Money?
No, she loved animals. And
the pigeons. Her dad killed the pigeons.
Killed the pigeons and her cat.
Oh.
And that's why she did it.
Back on the paranormal thing, several months ago, I had a friend that was staying here with me, and she was sleeping on the couch, and I have a stairway, which is over here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my bedroom is up right above here, okay? And here's my couch. There's my cat. But she said, okay, this is about 2, 3 in the morning. She said, I came down the stairs, okay, like this. I came down the stairs, and I walked into the kitchen, all right? I got in the refrigerator, got something out, I walked back that way, and then ran back up the stairs, okay? I can't run. That's not going to happen, okay? I have really bad legs. So the next morning, she told me about it. Okay, my cats are all laying here. They see me. She seen me. She said, I didn't say nothing to her. I went and snatched something out of the refrigerator, and I ran back upstairs. And she said I was wearing a gray shirt and shorts at like 3 something in the morning. And that's not what I was wearing. I was wearing a black shirt and granny panties. I was not wearing anything else, just that's what I was wearing. So that's what she would have seen me in if I would have came downstairs. And I didn't change.
Right.
The clothes she said I was wearing were in my closet and in my drawer. So I didn't change clothes, come downstairs, go back upstairs and do that. So then she started thinking about it. She said, I didn't make any noise. My stairs are creaky when you walk up them. You can hear somebody walking up and down the stairs. So then she realized that I didn't make any noise when I was walking up down those stairs. It wasn't me. She said, I was hauling it. I came downstairs, went and snatched something out of the refrigerator, and then hauled it and went back upstairs. So she's like, that was weird. I was like, it wasn't me. That's why. So it creeped her out pretty good.
Hey, I'm just thinking the next time after there is 2 of you, the next time we spend the night somewhere, we divide it to 3 instead of 2.
It's like, no wonder I can't lose weight. God, my spirit's getting out and run down and getting in the refrigerator. I was like, well, that explains it.
Yeah, the owner of the movie theater had something similar to that happen to her. She found this mask in her house, and she didn't know it was there at first. She found it between her wall and the safe, but before she found it, she was laying in bed, woke up to something trying to enter her mouth. And her daughter was there. Granddaughter seen somebody that looked like grandma going out the front door while grandma was still laying in bed. And that night, they ended up calling the fire department and the cops to her house because they seen a gray cloud coming out of the roof of her house. They thought her house was on fire. And they got there, and there was no fire. She got digging around, she found that mask. And it's about this big, made out of wood. And that's what was causing the problems in her house. And I said, take that thing, put it in a little plastic tote, spray it down with some holy water, and then when I'm down there, I'll take it. And it's actually in John Zaffis's museum right now. And that was causing the issues in her house.
Huh.
You know, because you say mask, I'm thinking all back through all over the years when stuff started with me having like paranormal experiences. I think it mostly all started too when my mom divorced my dad when I was 6 years old, and he wasn't a good guy at all. He was very violent. And we celebrate Halloween. Halloween is different than here. But what we celebrate starts November 11th at 11 o'clock, and it stops in February. And we have all that where you can get dressed up and you have all the parties. But for us, it's like when we were masked and stuff, it's like to scare the winter off.
Okay.
But it goes on for months, you know, and special that last part of it, it's where you have all the parties and all the parades and all that stuff. And there's a lot of other stuff with it. It goes with it, you know. But my dad brought, he put in the hallway a devil's mask, and it was a red mask, a devil's mask, red. And I'm keep thinking now through all those years, is that where everything started with that mask he put up?
It
I mean,
may
he put
have.
it back down, you know, when Fasching, we say Fasching, the German Halloween was over, it was put back down. But I'm thinking with that mask and him being such a bad guy and all this negativity, that stuff happened there.
Yep, that's a possibility. I mean, with his negative attitude, he conjured something up, and with that mask, that's showing that it's okay. It's an invite to come in with that devil mask hanging there. Like, that's showing that entity that, hey, it's okay to inhabit this house because I'm invited.
Because it started when I was around 4 years old, you know?
Yep, and he was feeding it. So, with you being 4 years old and your abilities, that's why it started coming towards you more because it knew you as a child. When you're a child, you're a little more weaker than what an adult is because their brains aren't fully developed to decipher what's real and what's not yet.
But see,
and it makes you more sensitive.
As a child, I wasn't, and it sounds so stupid because I didn't know, but as a child, I wasn't afraid of the devil, but I was afraid of demons. But I always thought if I can meet the devil, and that's what I thought as a child, if I meet the devil and I talk to him, I can make him apologize by God all the bad things he did, and I can turn him good again. That's what I thought as a child. So I wasn't scared of the devil, but I was scared of demons. Doesn't make sense.
No, it don't, because the demons are the devil's little minions.
Yeah, but I'm like 4 years old. But
yeah,
I think I can make the devil turn good again if I just talk to him.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
All what he has to do is just to apologize and be good.
Yeah, that never happens.
But that's what my goal was as a kid.
Even though God's the one that created the devil and all his fallen angels.
Yeah.
But even those things, they'll lay in dormant for years and years till they pick their opportunity. That's one thing I learned from Tony and those guys and Wade and them, that it lays in dormant for years, and then when it wants something, it finally comes out for it. And like with us that go out and deal with it, they know who we are. They know our birth dates. They know what car we drive, first and last names. Bishop was telling me that the devil's got our wanted posters in hell for the ones that go out and deal with that demonic stuff like we do. And like Lorraine says, it is true. It takes a piece out of you every time you deal with them, but it is rare. Them cases are very rare. You'll get maybe 2 out of 100 cases that you do that are actually demonic. Most of it's just either your regular stuff or psychological.
When I was 10 years old, we lived in this small 2-bedroom house, and it was down this long lane. It was just me, my mom, and dad. And of course, it was before my dad started like really being kind of mean and making me turn lights off. I guess he got sick of me complaining about, being scared of the dark. So we left the bathroom light on. And it was just the bathroom was right here, and it was a hallway, and my bedroom was at the end, and my mom and dad's bedroom was off to the left, right? And so it was a small bedroom. And so my bed was like to the right. So the door's right here. My bed was off to the right, and it was just a really small bedroom. Okay. There wasn't much walking room. And so I'm sitting there, and the bathroom light was showing in through my bedroom door, so I could see really well in my room, so nothing could get me. And of course, it's out in the boonies of Lexington, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mom and dad's in their room, and I had just gotten bed. So I had my big pink teddy bear over here. I had my little dolls over here, and it was like I'm going to say like a queen size bed. And it's kind of sitting back in this little niche. And so I had like a wall right here on the side of my bed, and I had just gotten bed. And again, I'm 10 years old, like 5th grade, 10 years old. And so I could see in my room. I look over at my wall. I hadn't even laid down yet. And I look over at my wall, and there's this shadow on my wall. And it's like a bull. And I could see a clear bull shadow. And he had like human teeth, and he had like a nose ring.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know why, but it was I could see everything completely clear. And, back in the 80s, I didn't have TV in my room or nothing, so there was no reflection. Again, we're out in the boonies, and I had little tiny windows in my room, and they were up high, so there's no reflections coming in my room. 2 small windows up there, so there's nothing. So then this is a shadow on my wall to my left, and he's laughing at me, and I could see details of this shadow, and I'm just sitting there, and he's right on the other side of my pink teddy bear. And I wasn't scared. That was the thing. I was not scared. I was aggravated. I'm like, now what? So at 10 years old, I'm already over this bull crap, because I've already been through so much. I'm like, really? Who's this idiot? At this point, I'm just like, I'm tired. And he's just there going, ha, 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 ha. I mean, he's just laughing his butt off. And it's just this shadow on the wall. And then the next thing that happens, now this makes it sound like somebody slipped something in my Kool-Aid. All right. There's these little black candle holders. They were shaped like this, like old timey candle holders.
Mm-hmm.
They were small, like shaped like this, like and had little tiny white candles on them. And each tiny little candle, about like that big, about like that, had a little flame on it, a little yellow flame. Each little tiny yellow flame, like orangish yellow, had a little smiley face on it. And they started up at the corner of my room and was coming down across my bedroom and disappearing into the wall, like that. Just a stream of them, just one right after the other, a perfect stream. And each one looked exactly the same. And then I'm like, just sitting there watching this bull crap now. And this whole time, this butt head is on the wall with the horns like a total bull, and he had like human teeth though. That was the weird thing. He had human teeth, and he's laughing, and while this is going on, and I'm like, so I'm just sitting there in my bed watching this. I had just gotten in bed too, and it just bam started, and then I heard this other man's voice, and I heard Jeanette, don't leave me. And then it all just stopped. It just stopped. It all the shadows gone, the candles were gone, and that was it. I'm like, okay, I guess it's over. So, and it wasn't my dad. It was not my dad's voice, because my dad would have been like, what the hell's wrong with you now? It was not my dad. So my dad does not have that gentle of a voice. You know. So then I laid down, went to sleep. You know, it was a very calming voice.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it was weird. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know
All
what?
right.
That was a lot of stuff in my life. I have, 51 years of stories, and then it started before I was born. So yeah, a couple nights before I was born, it started. So
You know what it reminds me of now while you're talking that? When I went to college and that house I was renting the room of, it was like kind of in an attic room upstairs, and then the girl, parents owned the house, she had the room next to me. And when I look out the window, all I can see is like a dirt road and fields, nothing there. And one night, and the room always creeped me out. And I go to bed and I go like, because I had to do homework with one of my friends. So I had this one friend in school, in my college, and she had her whole room full of holy figures from St. Michael's, you name it. The whole room was full of it where she stayed. And she wanted to become a nun, and she's really religious, and she talks to all those holy people. And she's a really nice girl, right? So I go home and I go like, I gotta go to bed really fast because it's midnight. Midnight is the ghost hour. I always thought midnight from 12 to 1 is the ghost hour. I have to go to sleep really fast, so I sleep through the ghost hour. I was 19 or 20 years old at the time. So I go to bed and I wake up and I hear music. So I'm getting up and I'm looking out the window and I see people in medieval clothing walking down the dirt road, a whole band in medieval clothing at 12:30 in the morning, 1 o'clock. A band of people in medieval clothes walking down the road and just disappear.
what the hell?
So I go like, yeah, and I'm awake, right? Because I'm pinching myself to wake up. And I go, that's really weird. And then I'm laying down and I go like, I gotta go to sleep. It's still ghost hour. It's still ghost hour. I'm always afraid to be up between 12 and 1. Right? So then I fall asleep. I finally fall asleep and I wake up something choking me. So I'm opening my eyes and I see, like, it looks like a demon with horns and stuff. It didn't look like that one I saw on the tree, but something with horns, and it's just very hard to describe, choking me. And since I'm 4 years old, I don't know why everything I say in threes I understand now with the Holy Trinity, but I always said the Lord Prayer 3 times. 3 times it works. 1 time doesn't work. 2 times you have to say it 3 times.
Right.
So I said the Lord's Prayer 3 times and that it disappeared, right? But I still can feel my throat hurt. So I tell my friend the next day, who has all the holy figurines in, and she said, I totally believe you because I saw the same. She said, I was in a hospital because they thought I committed suicide, but I did not try to commit suicide. It was the devil threw me off the balcony.
Oh, wow.
And she said that's why she has the holy figure and stuff, and that's why she wants to be a nun, because she needs to be protected. So years and years later, and you know what? I so wish I would have done a picture of it. I saw somebody, so many years ago, I saw somebody posting something on Facebook, a drawing from getting choked. Looks like the same thing what choked me. And I didn't take a picture of it, and then when I tried to look for it, I never could find it again.
Yeah, they probably deleted it off there.
So it happened to somebody else.
Yeah, that's not uncommon. I mean, it does happen to people.
But you see like a band going down in the middle of the night and playing medieval music, and a whole band in medieval clothing on. Because I go like, what the hell?
Right.
Music playing, and you see the band, and then it just disappears.
I've got audio from a case we did from a spirit box that was mocking church music and Latin chanting, laughing. And I sent it over to a demonologist to listen to, and they were like, burn it, get rid of it, destroy it. You don't want that. And they interpreted what it said because it was talking in Latin, and they said, yeah, it's demonic chanting. You don't want that.
Yes, in Latin, my grandpa spoke fluently. My grandpa used to speak 5 languages fluently, and one of them was Latin. And Latin, that it scares me for some reason. Do you know when I was 13, I don't know if you know about, gosh, what was her name? Annalise? I forgot her last name.
Oh, they did the movie of it.
Yeah, but what was her last name?
Is it
The Annalise.
Annalise Michaels or something like that?
Yes,
I think.
Annalise Michaels. She lived 2 hours away from where I live
Oh
in
wow.
Germany. I was 13 years old, right? And I was so into Dracula at that time. When I was young, from 8 to teenage years, I left my window open because I had a crush on Dracula. You know? But it was so stupid. But anyways, we had I don't think we had remote controls at the time, or we did. I forgot. But anyways, I was 13 years old. I'm home alone, and I go in the living room and I turn the TV on, and we only had 3 channels at the time. For me, growing up, we only had 3 channels, and the news were on, and they had that thing on from the Annalise Michaels, where that the priest and the doctors were in court. And it was like a court battle between them two.
Oh yeah, because of her being so malnourished, and she ended up dying from that.
And at that point, I didn't know anything about it. You know, I didn't hear anything. I didn't watch the news hardly, and I didn't read the newspaper, so I didn't know anything about it. So I go like, oh well, they priest killed somebody, and then they played. And you know what? When you hear this so unexpected, it gives you a shock. They played the original tape, the recording from her possession.
Mm-hmm.
In my whole life, I'm only 13 years old, and it's daylight out there. I didn't hear nothing like that at all. And it scared me so much that I ran out the living room. I closed the living room door. I went into my bedroom, and I closed my bedroom door, and I waited for my mom to come home. I didn't even dare to go close to the TV and turn the TV off.
No, I don't blame it.
It's still stuck with me till today.
Did you see that box from the exorcism box from that case is actually Zach Bagans owns it now.
The big box?
No, it's the exorcist box that they used for the exorcism of Annalise Michael.
No, I don't. I was at that museum in Zach Bacon's museum, but I don't remember seeing a box.
He just actually bought it not too long ago from Christopher St. Booth. Had it. And Christopher did a documentary on it, and they were talking with Christina Rake, who's a bishop. and she was talking about that box, the exorcism box. And now he sold it to Zach Bagans, and Zach's got it in his museum now.
What happened with the exorcism box? I never heard about it.
It's got all the items in it, the Bible and stuff, the book they read from, the cross, the holy water container, everything from that exorcism.
In Germany with the Annelies?
Mm-hmm. It's now in the United States in Zach's museum.
Oh, jeez.
I don't
The
know
guy's
how.
crazy too.
Yeah, I don't know how Christopher St. Booth got a hold of it, but he did, and then he ended up selling it to Zach because strange things were happening with him, and he was having strange feelings. He did a documentary on it not too long ago, and Zach ended up buying it.
I was in his museum, and that museum is no joke either.
Yeah, he's got some questionable items in there. That's like that. People say he's got Annabelle in there, which is not true.
It's not true.
Annabelle's in the Warren's Museum in Connecticut.
Well, I got this VIP pass, right, where you can go special rooms where no other people go in.
Yep.
But I didn't know that special room where other people don't go in. The tour guide doesn't go in either. So you in by yourself. But I had a couple, like a husband and wife, they had the VIP pass too. And half of the stuff, they didn't even go in there. So we're going down the basement, and going down the basement, that is really weird because you're going downstairs. Did you ever go in Zach Bacon's museum?
I've never been there yet.
So you go downstairs and you go like through a tunnel, like, right, in the basement. And it's dark. And the couple still go with me, but then half of the tunnel, they stop and they don't go further. Because at the end of the tunnel is like, the room is round, and then, gosh, you have the Pentagon in it, and they have some weird figurines in there. And I mean, Zach Bacon still here has cameras everywhere, right? And then he tells you what to do. So you just go once around the circle and go out. But when I try to get because I go like, hey, I'm going to do this. And I was scared because the couple is halfway in the hallway and stopped. So I'm by myself at that point. So I said, I can do that. You know, he got cameras, you know, even he's not around, but I can do it. Well, but I'm scared. So I tried to walk in, but something grabs me and pushes me back. Well, when I go upstairs, the tour guide says I'm totally pale and I couldn't breathe. I have problems breathing. So she said, you need to go out. And I said, no. I said, I'm going to be okay. But something pushed me in there. Then the other experience I have was by the debug box. And it was just like something didn't want me there because I'm German.
Right.
So I had this thing as you German, get the hell out. And then, what was the other thing I had? Oh, and then they had that Miro. Bela Lugosi's Miro.
Okay.
My face changed in there. There was, couple things happened there.
Awesome. We're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap up here. If people want to get a hold of you book you for Paracons or anything like that, how can they get a hold of you guys?
I'm Petra Tressler to everything over Facebook, and you can send me a private message also over Facebook. And then my email is Tressler, Tressler, Petra, Petra @yahoo.com.
I'm Jeanette Bowman, Bowman. I just didn't put it on there. Sorry. I was just excited I got this thing to work first try. But I'm on Facebook. I'll talk to you over Facebook. I'm really easy to get along with. I've never actually done a Paracon. I just show up and bug other people. I'm kind of the underdog here. I've never made a movie. I've never been in a movie. you know, I just kind of see dead people.
You in our documentary, Janet, don't forget
Well,
to say that
I
we
did
did a
that.
documentary about the Enfield Demon House. So
Okay.
I'm still working on it.
Documentary, yeah, but I mean, I've never done a movie I've never done anything really, you know, cool like you know. So I mean, I see dead people and float around. I mean, that's kind of weird. No, that's not like been videoed though. I mean, it's just kind of me sounding like a crazy person. So yeah, but I've never written a book or done anything spectacular yet. So maybe someday, you know, we'll do something neat and get around to it. So we'll see.
All right. If you guys want to hang backstage for a few minutes, I'm going to close the show out and then I'll be right with you.
Okay.
I thank you both for being on the show tonight.
Well, thanks for having us. And guys, watch out for the documentary about the Enfield Demon House in
Oh,
Connecticut.
it's gonna be good.
Yeah, we had a lot of things happen. And I still see things like the first couple minutes where I look at those pictures or look at the videos, we already seen things happening.
Yeah. That's
So stay tuned. And Janet, don't let's lose weight. Stay heavy so we don't levitate. No demon can pick us up.
I'm gonna make you sleep by the door. So, I'm bringing sleeping pills again next time too. Get you. I'll just
All right.
See you guys later.
I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Bye.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining in tonight and hanging with us. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we will see you again next week. Same time, same channel. Stay humble, stay safe out there. Remember, if you're being bullied in the paranormal field, feel free to reach out to us. We will listen and support you. Everyone, God bless. Have a good night, and we will see you again next week.